Hi, this is Andrew Versa with Impact Soundworks, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Sylvan Volume 1 featuring Jordi Storm. Following our libraries Allura and Charisma, this is a phrase-based vocal library featuring a wide range of inspiring performances, each recorded in 4 different keys, meaning you can use them in your music no matter what key you are in with minimal stretching necessary. Let's get an idea of the vibe of this library. Of course, we're hearing this with some beautiful reverb and delay coming from the Effects tab here, but all phrases were recorded dry, meaning you can mix them however you want with whatever effects, internal or external, to suit your music. It's a crisp, clear, and very detailed sound, matching what we've established with our Allura and Charisma libraries. But let's take a step back and see what exactly this library includes and what you're seeing on the user interface here. Basically, the library works by assigning up to 4 octaves of phrases, starting at C1 down here, which mirrors the red key range, and tapping these keys will switch the active phrase. Then, to select what root key you want the phrase to play from, you play in the blue range up here. The highlighted keys are the ones that the phrase was actually recorded in. For example, if I play this F-sharp 5, there's no pitch stretching going on. That is the actual pitch it was recorded at. Whereas if I play the G right above it, that's now being stretched a little bit. Now we're hearing it pitched up by 1 semitone. When you play one of these keys, this is not just speeding up or slowing down the phrase to get it to switch to a different pitch. This is actually doing it independent of the BPM, which in this case is 80, as you can see here. Right now, my DAW is actually set to 80 BPM. But let's say I wanted it to play back a little bit faster. I could set to 95 BPM in my DAW, and then I'll click the lock to host button. And it works seamlessly. Also, just as a fun feature, which is a bit more for sound design purposes, you can use the format knob. I just think that's kind of fun. Or alternatively, if you don't want to lock to host, you can just adjust the speed of the phrase here. This library is perfect for sweeping and ethereal soundtracks and scores, as well as new age music, ambient, or anytime you want to add a very mystical or elvish kind of sound, which is something that Jordi has developed over his many years as a vocalist. Now, to dig in a bit further, right now we're using preset groups of phrases, which you can select from the preset menu here. If I click on Falling Star, then we're going to get a new group of phrases, all matched together. These are all Falling Star. This actually really pairs with Allura nicely. I think that Jordi's timbre and the quality of his voice really complement Jillian, who is the soloist for Allura Volume 1, very nicely. But anyway, you don't have to use these snapshots. You can actually assign whatever phrases you'd like across multiple octaves. So if I click on C2 here, there's no sound source selected, and we can find the perfect phrase, of which there are quite a few to select from. And since it's a bit overwhelming to go through them like this, you might instead choose to filter them. So let's say we only want ooh, and we're working at around 100 BPM. So now we're going to get only the things that match those criteria. If I click and then select auto preview, then I can quickly audition them. Okay, let's say I like the vibrato there. I can assign it by pressing the check button. And now if I tap these keys in the red range, either on the UI or using my MIDI controller, I can now switch to that phrase. By the way, because this is a new snapshot, my effects were not saved, but you can always use this menu to save and load if you have a chain you like. So I'll go ahead to load insert effects chain. And then this is the one that I had saved from earlier. There we go. I really think with any vocal library like this, a great reverb and delay goes a long way. But we could try a different module, for example, maybe the impulse reverb. And let's go with Cosmic this time. Well, that is most definitely cosmic. Anyway, going back to the browser, if we assign a new phrase, we can also search by scale. So let's say we're only looking for a major feel. And now we have that assigned. You can also quickly switch what phrase is selected by just using these arrows. And this will go to the next one in the current browser settings. So this would be the major scale. Now granted, this is the scale based on the root note that you're playing. However, what I've found when writing music using these phrase libraries, you can make a phrase in a major scale sound minor based on the key that you're using in your music. So you're not locked into a major sound here. If you use a little bit of music theory, you can make it sound like almost anything, depending on what all the chords and the bass note are doing around it. There are also controls for dynamics and expression. They just give you some nuanced control over the swell of the sound. So for dynamics, we're getting a little bit of high-end filtering, as well as volume. And then expression is strictly volume. And that's Sylvan Volume 1 in a nutshell. Not only does it come with this contact player interface, but the phrases are also available as separate WAV files that are all named and categorized nicely. So if you prefer to load them into a different sampler or chop them and use them in your project directly in the DAW with no sampler at all, you can do that. The Contact version is compatible with the free Contact player with full NKS support. And if you own any of our other vocal libraries and you purchase it from our website, you'll get a personalized deal, so be sure to check that out. We'll close out just by hearing some more beautiful music created using Sylvan Volume 1. This has been Andrew Versa, and I'll see you in the next one.